The United States has sanctioned 140 Russian oligarchs and their family members, seizing their ill-begotten gains, their yachts, their luxury apartments, their mansions. We've sanctioned more than 400 Russian government officials, including key architects of this war. These officials and oligarchs have reaped enormous benefit from the corruption connected to the Kremlin. And now they have to share in the pain. The private sector is acting as well. Over 400 private multinational companies have pulled out of doing business in Russia, left Russia completely, from oil companies to McDonald's. As a result of these unprecedented sanctions, the ruble almost is immediately reduced to rubble. The Russian economy, that's true, by the way, takes about 200 rubles equal $1. The economy is on track to be cut in half in the coming years. It was ranked, Russia's economy was ranked the 11th biggest economy in the world before this invasion. It will soon not even rank among the top 20 in the world. Taken together, these economic sanctions are a new kind of economic statecraft with the power to inflict damage that rivals military might. These international sanctions are sapping Russian strength, its ability to replenish its military, and its ability to project power. And it is Putin, it is Vladimir Putin who is to blame, period. At the same time, alongside these economic sanctions, the Western world has come together to provide for the people of Ukraine with incredible levels of military, economic, humanitarian assistance. In the years before the invasion, we, America, had sent over $650 million before they crossed the border in weapons to Ukraine, including anti-air and anti-armor equipment. Since the invasion, America has committed another $1.35 billion in weapons and ammunition. And thanks to the courage and bravery of the Ukrainian people, the equipment we've sent and our colleagues have sent have been used to devastating effect to defend Ukrainian land and airspace. Our allies and partners have stepped up as well. But as I've made clear, American forces are in Europe, not in Europe, to engage in conflict with Russian forces. American forces are here to defend NATO allies. Yesterday, I met with the troops that are serving alongside our Polish allies to bolster NATO's frontline defenses. The reason we want to make clear is their movement on Ukraine. Don't even think about moving on one single inch of NATO territory. We have sacred obligation. We have a sacred obligation under Article 5 to defend each and every inch of NATO territory with the full force of our collective power. Commit now to be in this fight for the long haul. We must remain unified today and tomorrow and the day after, and for the years and decades to come. It will not be easy. There will be cost, but it's a price we have to pay. So in this hour, let the words of Pope John Paul burn as brightly today. Never, ever give up hope. Never doubt. Never tire. Never become discouraged. Be not afraid. A dictator bent on rebuilding an empire will never erase a people's love for liberty. Brutality will never grind down their will to be free. Ukraine will never be a victory for Russia, for free people refused to live in a world of hopelessness and darkness. We will have a different future, a brighter future, rooted in democracy and principle, hope and light, of decency and dignity, of freedom and possibilities. For God's sake, this man cannot remain in power. God bless you all, and may God defend our freedom, and may God protect our troops. Thank you for your patience.
U.S. President Joe Biden on Saturday called on Europe to steel itself for a long fight against Russian aggression while issuing a stern warning to Moscow against moving on NATO territory, even as Vladimir Putin's war on Ukraine enters its second month. Russia's February 24 invasion of Ukraine has tested NATO and the West's ability to unite. Nevertheless, Biden assured NATO ally Poland of the United States' aid in the eventuality of a Russian attack, while also lauding the country's acceptance of millions of refugees from war-torn Ukraine. On the other hand, as Moscow's special operation in Ukraine stalls in the face of stiff resistance, it is switching gears when it comes to military tactics.
Concerning top developments around the Russia-Ukraine war, we will take you through the top rising. The first issue is, the United States President delivered a fiery speech on the Russia-Ukraine war in the Polish capital of Warsaw. US President Joe Biden declared that the US was ready to defend every inch of NATO territory if Moscow decided to expand its aggression. Don't even think about moving on one single inch of NATO territory, Biden warned. He also called for a regime change in Russia, saying, "For God's sake, this man, Putin, cannot remain in power." However, after the US president's speech, the White House issued a statement saying his point was that Putin cannot be allowed to exercise power over his neighbors or the region. The second issue, earlier in the day, Biden met Ukraine's Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba and Defense Minister Oleksiy Reznikov in Warsaw, his first face-to-face talks with top Ukrainian officials since the start of the Russian invasion. Later, while meeting with refugee families who fled the war in Ukraine, Biden had this to say about Putin: "He is a butcher." The third issue, Joe Biden also sought to reassure Poland that the US would defend against any attacks by Russia, and he acknowledged that the NATO ally bore the burden of the refugee crisis from the war in neighboring Ukraine. "Your freedom is ours," Biden told Poland's President, Andrzej Duda, as the two leaders discussed shared goals to end the Russian invasion of Ukraine. The fourth issue, Russian forces seized Slavutik, a town close to the border with Belarus where workers at the nearby Chernobyl nuclear plant live, the governor of Kyiv region said. The invaders, however, were met with resistance from civilians, and had to detonate stun grenades to disperse protesters who unfurled a large Ukrainian flag and shouted, "Glory to Ukraine," in the town square. Fifth issue, Chernihiv, a city in northern Ukraine, fears becoming the next Mariupol. Besieged by Russian troops, the city is constantly being bombarded and shelled, and running low on food and potable water. Ways out of Chernihiv are being systematically cut off. A main bridge was bombed on Wednesday and a pedestrian bridge rendered impassable by shelling on Friday. Around 200 civilians have been killed so far, the city's mayor said on Saturday.